Good afternoon and salam ibu pertiwiku. North Korea fired what appeared to be two short-range missiles on Saturday, South Korea said in a show of force against U.S.-South Korea joint military exercises. South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff said in a statement that more missile launches are highly probable, as the North Korean military is conducting its own summer drills. A U.S. official said that at least one projectile was launched and that it appeared to be similar to previous short-range missiles fired by Pyongyang. Two missiles flew about 400 kilometers at a height of about 48 kilometers, according to the South Korean military. South Korea's presidential office said the missile launches were apparently testing capabilities of a new short-range missile Pyongyang is developing. President Donald Trump threatened retaliation against countries and organizations that issued travel warnings on the United States because of gun violence. He said the U.S. is a reciprocal nation with him as the head and will respond negatively to countries that do the same to them. Amnesty International and a growing list of countries have begun issuing warnings about travel to the United States because of gun violence, including mass shootings over the weekend in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio. Warnings, which are varying degrees of intensity, have come from a list of countries that include Uruguay, Venezuela, Japan, Germany, Ireland, Canada, and New Zealand. Trump did not specify any particular country or what he might do to retaliate. Chancellor Sajid Javid said the United Kingdom's economy had contracted for the first time since 2012. The surprise decline came after Brexit stockpiles were unwound and the car industry implemented shutdowns. The pound sank after the data was released, raising fears of a recession. Against the dollar, the pound sterling fell to $1.2025. Against the euro, it dropped throughout the day to 1.0736 euros, a level not seen since the global financial crisis a decade ago. Rob Kent-Smith, head of GDP at the Office for National Statistics, said manufacturing output fell and the construction sector weakened. Recession occurs when the economy contracts in two consecutive quarters. This is the first contraction since the fourth quarter of 2012. Economists had not been forecasting a contraction economy in the second quarter, but had expected it to stagnate, with a consensus forecast for 0% growth. A Panamanian court declared former President Ricardo Martinelli not guilty of charges that he spied on 150 people, including politicians, union leaders, and journalists during his 2009 to 2014 presidency, and ordered his release. According to the verdict read by one of the tribunal's three judges, prosecutors failed to prove their theory, and reasonable doubts arose about the accusations presented. The prosecutor's office had requested a 21-year sentence against Martinelli. 4 years for interception of telecommunications without judicial authorization, 4 years for follow-up and surveillance without authorization, 10 years for seizure, and 3 years for embezzlement. The tribunal recognized indications of activities outside the law in the National Security Council. However, questions arise that the evidence did not solve. Following a report by the Financial Times accusing China of direct interference in the Taiwanese media, the Reuters news agency said the Chinese government has paid 5 media groups on the island to publish positive articles about the country. Articles on the website of a prominent newspaper seem like straightforward news about Chinese incentives for Taiwanese business people, but they were actually paid for by Beijing. According to Reuters, 2 feature stories about the business incentives earned the Taiwanese publications $4,250. The Taiwanese government has said the publications could face a fine of up to $15,900 for violating rules about Chinese advertisements. Well, that's all the news for now. I'm Razi Ahmad. Stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching.